Well, Nigel, given your depleted numbers on Sunday at Cheltenham, let's get a roll call from you firstly. How's your captain, Ollie Clark?
I would say it's 50-50 for Oldham. He got quite a whack, as anybody who watched the game will have seen, in the game against Salford, in the late tackle. But you know, he's a strong old lad, or young lad, so we'll give him every opportunity. But what we certainly don't want to do is risk him and then be out for 3 or 4 weeks, making it worse.
James Perch reported feeling unwell at the team hotel, we understand, on Sunday morning. How's he now?
Well, he's had the obligatory COVID test, which is all clear, which is brilliant. But he's just picked up a bug or something, and feels just under the weather, generally speaking. So we'll see how he is come Wednesday. But I think he's 50-50 as well.
And what chance has Kellen Gordon got of returning to the squad?
Yeah, Kellen's probably a little bit ahead in terms of the 2 injured lads with him and Nicky. And he hasn't been out as long as well, so they'll train on Tuesday morning, and we'll see how both of them are.
And finally, Nicky Maynard.
Yeah, Nicky will do some training, and we hope to have him back in the squad as well. It'd be nice to have a few more options on the bench than we had at Cheltenham, certainly. But with hamstring injuries, which Kellen and Nicky have got, we won't be risking them.
We speak here on this Tuesday morning at the club's training ground, the RH Academy. Could we see, Nigel, before tomorrow's game at Oldham, new signings?
No, I don't think it's too late now to get them in. They would have to be done by, I think, about 2 hours' time. So we're not quite that far advanced with discussions, but we are talking to a few clubs and players at the moment. So on loans, permanents, a variety. It's very difficult in January, well, it is in the summer as well, but you identify your top targets, so you work on them. And until you get a definitive yes or a no, you can't move on to the next group. You're sort of trying to keep some plates spinning, so you think, well, if that one player doesn't come or whatever, then we'll have to move on to another target. So it's always difficult in January, because a lot of clubs don't want to let them go, and they'll wait until the end of the month. So we have to sort of have a cut-off point, which obviously we haven't reached yet, where we say, well, if we're not getting them, then we do move on to another target.
Am I right in assuming, well, not assuming, the feeling I get from you is that you're not a huge fan of the January transfer window? Would that be fair?
I'm not a fan of the transfer windows, full stop. For lower leagues, I understand at the top level, but not for sort of League 2 and League 1 clubs, and they should have more flexibility to bring players in. Everybody wants this financial responsibility, and all it does is it makes people spend more in the summer to get bigger squads than they need, because they can't bring loan players in during outside the window, and the same in January. They'll do the same, either trying to stay safe, you know, going for something which maybe they can't afford, and it leads to the opposite effect to what they're meant to be aiming for. So no, not a great fan of it generally.
You've said previously that you're looking to bring 2 or 3 in. That's the phrase you've used. Are those 2/3 all likely to be loan signings, Nigel?
It depends. It's a mixture, really. We'll just see who we get. Loans are the most viable option, I think, looking ahead for the position that we're in. We want players to help us get safe, and then really it's the summer where we do a rebuilding sort of job, and we try and get the squad together to challenge. But don't forget, we was just losing in extra time at Cheltenham. That's only the 3rd loss in a couple of months, something like that. So the players here are performing pretty well, and you see the 3 league wins just before, and the quality that we showed and the manner of those wins means that we give everybody here an opportunity first and foremost.
But looking on the other side of the door, have you had inquiries from other clubs and managers for some of your players here?
Yeah, we've had inquiries about 2 or 3 players who are on the fringes, but I don't think we can afford to let anybody go until we get players in, or until we're guaranteed to get players in. So we'll work on that first, and then we'll explore the other avenues for the lads going out, either on loan or permanent.
More generally, there's been talk at the top level of a circuit breaker, hasn't there? Much talk of that. It's quite topical at this moment in time. I wonder what your thoughts and opinions are of it.
If needed, then of course we go with it. But I think when everybody's down in the dumps, a lot of people in the country at the moment, I think if football can give them a small respite watching football on the TV, on the laptops, whatever they do, then I think we have to do everything we can to keep it going. If it's providing, I don't know, a few million people with some enjoyment on a Saturday afternoon. It seems to be on every night of the week at the moment, football, which is great. But I think we have a responsibility to try and keep it going. And I know how seriously the lads here take their responsibilities in terms of staying safe so we don't get an outbreak. If it happens, it won't be through the lack of protocols and trying. And if some of the Premier League lads had stopped going to parties, then we might have a better chance of not having a circuit breaker.
Back to the Stags camp here. Mansfield played 2 hours of football on Sunday in the Emirates FA Cup at Cheltenham. How are they, broadly speaking, fitness-wise, heading into tomorrow's league match at Oldham?
Well, they'll be a little bit more fatigued than usual, without doubt, having played the extra time. But no excuses. We've got to recover. It'll be very much down to the individual what they do Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, in terms of getting themselves ready for Wednesday night. We have this sort of tendency, I think, in football to lump everybody together and say, right, if one player's doing this, that's right for the other 10 or 12 as well. It's not always the way. Everybody's different. Everybody will have different knocks and soreness and everything after extra time. So it's very much up to them what they do in preparation. Because
you played half an hour more than perhaps anticipated on Sunday, how does that affect the plans/training heading into the contest at Boundary Park tomorrow?
Yeah, it just affects it in terms of it'll be a very, very light training session. Those who need to do more, either the subs who weren't involved or whatever, lads coming back from injury, they'll have a separate session, and it'll be up to the others what they do. But I'm sure Oldham were delighted when they saw we'd gone to extra time. And of course, when you win in extra time, it doesn't really matter. You don't feel it. But when you lose with 10 minutes to go, or whatever, 5-10 minutes to go from a long throw-in, it tends to drain you a little bit more.
Oldham also left the Emirates FA Cup at the third round stage. They were beaten at Bournemouth. You had that one scouted. What did you gain from that scouting report and the match from the notes that you've seen?
How well they played in the first half. And I was listening actually on the radio to it as well on the way into training, and the commentator was saying how well Oldham had done, and if anyone was going to break the deadlock, it was them. And then Bournemouth scored with a deflected shot, which got them going. So I think they're as capable as anybody in the league, Oldham, and of scoring goals and causing problems. I think they can be maybe exploited a little bit at the back, but they're a very creative team, as you would expect under the manager.
Yeah, as you say there, I mean, they're a very unpredictable outfit, aren't they, given their results? What exactly, expanding on what you've just said, are you going to come up against?
Just that it's difficult to know when they're so unpredictable. I think they have players that will put goals in from anywhere, and have one or two of those in the squad. So you're never quite sure. They change formations as well, like ourselves at times. So it's one of those we have to make sure that we're prepared correctly, physically and mentally, after Sunday, and then compete as well as we've competed in the last couple of months.
Yeah, Stags in buoyant mood given the recent excellent league form.
Yeah, I don't want it to change because of the defeat at a very good League Two side. You know, I don't want that to change, and we'll be emphasising and highlighting a lot of the positive things from Sunday. But in our eyes, the bottom line is always, if they give absolutely everything and we lose in extra time or we lose a game, yes, we can play a bit better, yes, we can do things a little bit differently, but that's the bottom line for us. And we saw players running and getting back in, even in extra time. Very, very encouraging when you see those signs.
Thanks, Nigel.
Thank you.